5 minutes. That's all it takes to break free from the mental prison of indecisiveness that's been holding you hostage. 5 minutes to transform from someone who agonizes over every choice into someone who makes clean, confident decisions and moves forward with their life. And I'm about to prove it to you using a framework that's so simple, you'll wonder why you've been making decision-making so complicated. But first, let me guess what's happening in your head right now. You're probably thinking, 5 minutes. That's impossible. My decisions are complex. They require careful analysis. What if I make the wrong choice? And that voice, that analytical, careful, overthinking voice, is exactly what's been sabotaging your progress for years. Here's what I know about you. You research restaurants for 30 minutes before ordering food you'll forget about tomorrow. You spend weeks comparing apartments that are essentially identical. You craft emails for 20 minutes that could be written in 2. You've probably been thinking about the same career move, relationship decision, or life change for months, maybe years. And while you've been thinking, life has been happening around you, opportunities have been passing by you, and other people with inferior plans have been lapping you simply because they know how to make a decision and stick with it. The cruel irony is that your intelligence, your greatest asset, has become your greatest liability. You can see all the angles, anticipate all the problems, imagine all the scenarios. But this gift of analysis has morphed into a curse of paralysis. Every choice becomes a complex equation with infinite variables, and you're stuck in an endless loop of calculation, while the world moves forward without you. Here's the truth that will set you free. Most decisions are reversible. None of them are perfect. And the cost of making the wrong choice is almost always lower than the cost of making no choice at all. That job you're afraid to apply for? The worst that happens is they say no, and you're exactly where you are right now. That conversation you're avoiding? The worst outcome still moves you forward with information you don't currently have. That project you can't start because you haven't figured out all the details. An imperfect beginning beats a perfect plan that never launches. The 5-minute decision framework isn't about rushing important choices. It's about right-sizing your decision-making process to match the actual importance and reversibility of your choices. It's about breaking the psychological barrier that makes every decision feel monumental when most of them are actually mundane. Here's how it works. Minute 1. Define the real stakes. What actually happens if this decision goes wrong? Not your catastrophic imagination of what might happen, but the realistic, probable consequences of a suboptimal choice. For most decisions, the real stakes are far lower than your anxiety suggests. Picking the wrong movie means 90 minutes of mild entertainment. Selecting the wrong project approach means you might need to adjust course later. These aren't life or death scenarios. They're learning opportunities with low-cost tuition. Minute 2. Identify your non-negotiables.
What are the 3 criteria that any acceptable option must meet? Not your wish list of 17 ideal features, but the essential requirements that determine whether a choice is workable or not. For a job, does it pay enough to meet your needs? Does it align with your core values? Does it offer growth potential? For an apartment, is it safe? Is it affordable? Is the commute manageable? For a relationship decision, do you respect each other? Do you share fundamental values? Do you genuinely enjoy each other's company? 3 criteria. That's it.
More than 3, and you're back in analysis paralysis. Minute 3. Generate your options. Not all possible options, just the obvious viable ones. The restaurant choices within walking distance, the job opportunities you're qualified for, the cities you could realistically move to. Don't research for perfect options that might exist somewhere in the universe. Work with what's actually available and actionable right now. Good decisions are made from good enough options, not perfect ones. Minute 4. Apply your non-negotiables as filters. This is where your analytical mind gets to play, but within strict boundaries. Which options meet all 3 of your essential criteria? Eliminate everything that doesn't. Don't spend time trying to make disqualified options work by lowering your standards or creating exceptions. If an option doesn't meet your predefined non-negotiables, it's out. This isn't about finding the perfect option. It's about finding workable options. Minute 5. Choose and commit. From the remaining options, pick one. Not the perfect one. The first one that feels right. Trust your gut, which is actually your unconscious mind rapidly processing all the information you can't consciously analyze. Your intuition isn't magical. It's your brain's pattern recognition system running at lightning speed. It's incorporating factors you can't articulate, but absolutely should consider. Here's the part that makes this framework revolutionary. You're not allowed to revisit the decision unless new information fundamentally changes the situation. No second guessing. No, what if I had chosen differently? Oh, mental do-overs. You made a good enough decision with the information you had, and now you move forward and make it work. But what about big decisions? The ones that feel genuinely life-changing. The framework still applies, but you extend the timeline. Career decisions get 5 days, not 5 minutes. Relationship decisions get 5 weeks. Major life changes get 5 months. The process remains the same. Define real stakes, identify non-negotiables, generate viable options, filter ruthlessly, choose, and commit. The magic happens when you realize that most decisions you've been agonizing over aren't actually big decisions at all. They're medium decisions disguised as big ones by your anxiety and perfectionism. Which college to attend? Big decision. Which classes to take this semester? Medium decision. What to major in? Medium decision. Whether to change majors? Small decision. What to eat for lunch? Tiny decision. Yet you probably spend similar amounts of mental energy on all of them. Here's what your life looks like when you master the 5-minute decision framework. You become the person who says yes to interesting opportunities, while others are still researching whether they should be interested. You build momentum because you're constantly moving forward instead of sitting still, paralyzed by choice. You develop confidence because you prove to yourself over and over that you can make good decisions quickly and handle whatever consequences arise. Most importantly, you reclaim your mental energy for things that actually matter. All that brain power you've been wasting on trivial decisions, it's now available for creative thinking, relationship building, skill development, and enjoying your actual life. You stop being a spectator in your own story, endlessly planning and analyzing, and start being the protagonist who takes action and shapes their destiny. The people who seem naturally decisive aren't different from you. They just understand that perfect information doesn't exist, and perfect decisions are impossible. They've learned to make good enough decisions quickly, and then invest their energy in executing those decisions brilliantly. They know that the decision itself matters less than what they do after they decide. Think of one decision you've been avoiding, something you've been mulling over, researching endlessly, or postponing until you have more information. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Define the real stakes. What actually happens if this goes wrong? Identify your 3 non-negotiables. Generate your viable options. Filter ruthlessly. Choose one. Commit to it. Then close your laptop, put down your phone, and go execute that decision. Feel that lightness? It's what it's like to be free from the prison of indecisiveness. That sense of momentum. That's what it feels like to be someone who moves through the world with purpose and confidence. That quiet satisfaction. That's the feeling of trusting yourself to make good decisions and handle whatever comes next. Indecisiveness isn't a personality trait. It's a habit. Like any habit, it can be broken with the right framework and consistent practice. The 5-minute decision hack isn't about making perfect choices. It's about making good. Enough choices fast enough that you actually get to live your life instead of just planning it. The person you're meant to become is waiting on the other side of the decisions you're afraid to make. Stop keeping them waiting. Your future self will thank you for every quick decision you make today, and they'll forgive you for every imperfect choice that moved you forward. Because in the end, the only wrong decision is the one you never make. 5 minutes. One framework. The end of indecisiveness forever.